Are you looking for one of the top-rated compact SUVs in the market? Well, you're gonna get it with the redesigned 2020 Honda CR-V. Hi, I'm Justin Thompson here at Smail Honda in Greensburg, PA, here to take you on a ride-along on the new 2020 Honda CR-V touring model. Let's check it out. New with the 2020 Honda CR-Vs, you're gonna see a new front fascia. The grille design is a little bit different. You're gonna have new 19-inch wheels with a new spoke design. Of course, the distinct chrome trim for the touring model. Now on the back, the rear fascia is changed a little bit with the smoke chrome on the back Honda symbol. You're also going to have the dual exhaust tips are shaped just a little bit different. One of the cool things I want to show you about the back of the CR-V, you do have the hands-free tailgate. As long as you have the key fob on you, you could have it buried in your purse. You just do a little kicking motion underneath the back tailgate. Automatically opens up. And then of course on the inside you have the lower level so that you don't have your groceries sliding around. Your spare tire, jack, and tools in order to change the tire underneath. You are able to put this to the upper level and have a flush surface the whole way back. And then if you need to drop down the seats, you can simply just pull the handle and that will release the seat. Of course you have the lights in the back here. They got rid of the on-off switch on the lights, so whenever the tailgate closes, the lights automatically turn off. You could either hit the button or, again, just do the kicking motion underneath the back tailgate and that will lower the power tailgate for you. So with the Smart Pass keyless entry system, as long as you have the key fob on you, buried in your pocket or purse, you just put your hand through the handle, it's gonna unlock the car, and when you're done with your commute, you just hit the top ridges right there and that will lock the vehicle up. With the remote start system, all you do is simply hit the lock button 2 times in a row and the hold circular button down for a few seconds till you see the lights blink, then you can release it. And it will run, it will start up, it'll run for about 10 minutes and then shut off automatically for you. But the lights do blink 6 times in the front and the back to ensure that it was remote started. If you do want to do that exact pattern within that 10-minute run time, it'll set it to 20 minutes for you. So an advanced feature that I may not have gone over in one of my other videos, if you hit the unlock button and then the second time hold it down, it'll actually put the windows down and open up the sunroof for as long as you hold the button down. So all you do is hit the unlock button 1 time and the second time hold it in. So that's going to put the windows down and open up the sunroof for as long as you hold this button down. Now if you wanted to get some fresh air in the car instead of remote starting it, you can do this. But I also want to show you, if you ever have your window down whenever you're walking away from your vehicle, you don't have to get back in and hit access twice and manually put up the window. All you have to do is fish out your key fob. There's a little tab on the side here. You just press this up and simultaneously take the key out. It's tough for me to do with my glove on. There we go. And then you just put the key in the lock, once to the left and one more time and hold it there, and it's going to put all the windows up and close the sunroof for you. If the battery ever dies in your key fob, the way that you get in your car is you take this tab and simultaneously pull this key out like I did showing you before, manually put it into the lock and just unlock the car and get back in. Once you're inside of the vehicle, all you have to do is put the key fob back together, depress the brake pedal, and push this against the start button, and it will send a signal to the car to start up. And again, that's only if the battery is dead in your key fob. New for the 2020 Honda CR-V, the center console, you're going to have the wireless phone charger. You're also going to have the USB port connections. So those hookups are underneath the shifter instead of down in the center console here. So just a little easier to get at. The center console in itself, whenever you open it up, so with the center console, you have the tray that actually can be slid forward. You can slide it back and then lift it up for easy storage. So it's a little bit nicer than having that one in the 19 where you would have to actually take it out or reposition it. So again, this stays in there, and just to show you, once down, slide it forward, back, lift up. And then you have the extended armrest as well. A couple other things that are new for the 2020 model year is the standard heated steering wheel. So that button right there and that little orange light's going to indicate that it's on. Also, you have the engine idle shutoff button. So this vehicle does have the engine idle shut off, and what that means is it's going to shut the engine off momentarily when you're sitting at a traffic light for a few seconds. It's to save on fuel efficiency. The sunroof, 1 touch all the way back, and then 1 touch all the way forward. you are able to stop it at pretty much any position that you want. You are able to ventilate it just by pushing the middle button, and it will ventilate it up. And then to ensure that it's closed the whole way, just push it forward as if you're going to auto shut it. By the way, the sunshade here will go all the way back whenever you open it automatically. HomeLink system's up here, and you have your sunglass holder that doubles as an eye in the sky as well. Lighted vanity mirrors on both sides, by the way. So with the 2020 Honda CR-Vs, you're going to have all the same standard features, especially in the touring model. You're going to have the power windows, power locks. You're going to have the memory seats, position 1 and 2 for the driver. You're going to have all of Honda sensing. So that's going to incorporate blind spot monitoring on both sides. You're also going to have road departure mitigation, lane keep assist system, adaptive cruise control, and forward collision brake mitigation. So all those systems are operating and running, and you're able to change the sensitivity levels to all that to operate the way that you want it to. The electronic parking brake, you simply lift up on the lever to set the parking brake. To disengage it, you depress the brake pedal on the floor and press down on that same mechanism, and that will release the emergency brake. And just know if you have your seatbelt on and you tried to leave anyways without taking it off, it'll release itself. So I'll demonstrate that for you, and then we'll take it out on the road. So I got the emergency brake on, I have my seatbelt on, put it into drive, and all you have to do to release it is just hit the accelerator and it takes it off automatically. And again, that only works if you have your seatbelt on. Otherwise, it'll tell you that you have to depress the brake pedal and press down on the release. So I'm going to demonstrate the adaptive cruise control and your lane keep assist system. And those two are operated on the right-hand side of the steering wheel here. You also have the road departure mitigation. That button is over on the left-hand side of the dash, and that green light indicates that it is on. And what that's going to do is actively use the camera pointing out in front of the CR-V and constantly keep us centered in the lane. If we start to drift, it'll actually vibrate the wheel and pull you back into the lane. Again, just real subtle movements in the steering to help assist your steering and not substitute it. Your forward collision brake mitigation system is always engaged unless you knowingly take it off, which again, that button's on the left-hand side down here. I can't think of many reasons why you would want to have it off. If anything, you might want to change the sensitivity level, which again, you can do through the settings tab. But what that's going to do is stop the vehicle and brake it automatically if you do not apply the brakes in time. This is really great if you're coming up to a traffic light, let's say, and you're just not paying attention. Again, in those slower speeds, around 20, 15 miles an hour, it should stop you completely. At higher speeds, it will definitely slow you up for sure. While we're waiting for the light to turn, you have automatic lights, of course. You have fog lamps. All of that is automatic. So you can keep it on the auto setting, and you don't have to worry about turning your lights off at night and chance draining your battery if you forget. You have automatic high beams at night too. So they'll automatically turn on and automatically turn off. You have the auto windshield wiper as well. So you have the lens up there that's gonna, if it starts to rain really hard and you have it in the auto setting, it'll adjust the speed depending on how hard it's raining. Something that's new with all the trim levels in 2020 for the CR-V is the LX model, the entry level, has the 1.5 liter turbo engine. So that's gonna be exciting for anybody that's looking to save a few dollars and get the entry level, if you will. It's going to have almost all of Honda sensing with the exception of the blind spot monitoring. And again, you're going to have the 1.5 liter turbo engine, that 190 horsepower. So right now, I'm going to activate the lane keep assist system, and I hit this button on the right-hand side of the steering wheel, and it puts these dotted lines, up here on the dash. They're solid white, indicating that it is ready to operate. So if I start to drift out of my lane, it'll actually keep me centered. I don't suggest to do this, but if I took my hands off the wheel, it'll just keep me centered in the lane here. Now, if I put my turn signal on, it will cut out lane keep assist system to allow me to move into that lane, and then it will reset once I stay centered in the lane for a little bit. And again, if I start to drift, and I'll try to simulate it drifting here, it's kind of hard to because it keeps it all together. There's that lane keep assist system vibrating the wheel and keeping me centered in the lane. Now, blind spot monitoring, again, is going to be on both sides of the vehicle. It's indicated with a little car icon on the outside of the mirror. But if somebody is in my blind spot, it's going to blink orange. If I have my turn signal on, it'll also beep inside of the cabin. So there's an extra warning if you're moving into that lane and somebody's there. As you can see, it's starting to snow outside here. Gotta love Western PA. That's kind of how it runs around here. We could have 4 seasons in one day. Rest assured, you have the all-wheel drive system with the CR-V. And how that's going to operate, it's going to engage in all-wheel drive whenever it's needed. And on dry days when we don't need it, it's mainly going to run like a front-wheel drive vehicle. And again, as soon as your wheels start to slip, it'll engage in all-wheel drive where it's needed. And it will divert the power where it's needed too. So more power in the front, or vice versa in the rear, or equal, or side to side. But again, on a dry day, once you get up to speed, you're mainly going to be front-wheel drive. So you're going to save on tires and you're going to save on fuel. So the warranty on the new Hondas, you have a 3-year, 36,000 mile comprehensive warranty, and that's all the internal features, all the bells and whistles, motors for everything, like the motor for the seat and the sunroof. You have a 5-year, 60,000 powertrain warranty, which is your engine, drivetrain, transmission, all-wheel drive system, all the major driving components of the vehicle. So I'm going to hit set on the cruise control, and it's going to set us at 60. That's where I was whenever I hit set. I can increase my speed 1 mile an hour increment just by tapping the plus button, or I can hold it down and go up 5 mile an hour increments. And what it's doing is keeping me a safe distance between me and the car in front of me. So the CRV has what's called slow speed follow. And what it does is it brakes you all the way down to 0 miles an hour, and we're going to see this right now. So I'm not applying the brakes at all. The system is doing it all automatically using the radar. Now, under 25 miles an hour, other adaptive cruise controls will shut off, and you need to be mindful to brake the vehicle all the way down to 0 yourself. However, ours takes you all the way down to 0 without you touching a thing. And this is great for traffic situations, because if you come into traffic, then you can bridge the gap between you and the car in front of you by tapping the sensitivity level button. And that will, keep the space between you and the car in front of you shorter so that somebody couldn't cut you off. And in fact, if somebody did, your forward collision brake mitigation system will take over, of course. But this is great. You don't have to hit the brake and the accelerator in traffic situations. You can just steer through traffic. Once you say stop long enough, it will say stopped on the dash here. And then all I have to do is tap the accelerator or tap the plus button, and it will put me back up to the speed that I had set automatically. The resale value on the CRVs is very high as well. And again, the reason why, they hold their value well. And they hold their value well, again, because they are not fleeted. And the CRV, the accolades that it has, the reliability, the dependability on the vehicle, just this long reputation has kept the CRV in the top market for the compact SUVs. And the CRV is so reliable because of the safety as well. The safety in this vehicle, the 5-star plus ratings that you get with the CRV, it's just good all across the board. We're talking insurance-wise, to insure the vehicle. Hondas insure better. The safety features in the models are going to help with the insurance costs as well. So you have the 1.5 liter turbo engine, and again, that's 190 horsepower with the CVT transmission. That's continuous variable transmission, continuous variable transaxle, however you want to explain it. The acronyms are different. What it does, it's one gear constantly adjusting the gear ratio depending on how you're driving the vehicle. So the CRV does get very good fuel efficiency because the vehicle is constantly adjusting the gear ratio to drive itself the most fuel efficient way. So if you're heading up a hill, or if you're out on the highway coasting, or even using the Econ button whenever you're on your long trips. And again, that's going to help maximize your fuel efficiency as well. If I can give you a success story, I've talked to many of my customers that have purchased the CRVs over the years since the new 17 model year redesign and the new 1.5 liter turbo engine. And I have a few customers that are averaging close to 40 miles per gallon on their CRVs. The backup camera, all you do, put the vehicle in reverse, and you're going to have 3 camera angle views. You're going to have the wide angle view so you can see traffic coming from either side. The dynamic guidelines do change color to give you a projected angle into a parking spot. And whenever you see the grid yellow, that's how you know your wheel's straight. So you can start backing into a spot like so. I can change to the second camera angle, which is a more concentrated view. I can use the grid and then the lines on the ground to kind of park the vehicle. And then the last one's terrific. I love this. It's straight down view. You can back right up against the curb without hitting it. That dotted line's about 2.5 feet away. That's about 5 feet away, that full grid there. And then one other thing I want to explain, you do have the cross monitor detection. That's what that green light is. If you want to turn it off, you simply hit that button. But it uses your blind spot monitoring on both sides to indicate if any vehicles are moving behind you. And if they do, it's going to beep and display arrows on either side to indicate where they're coming from. So you have, your navigation is going to be standard with the Touring model. That's a Garmin-based navigation system. However, with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you can use your phone hookup, your smartphone connection for your navigation. And in fact, I have Waze as one of my navigation apps, and I love to use that on my long trips, so I enjoy Apple CarPlay a lot. And what's nice about the CR-V, if you enjoy Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you don't have to get the Touring model in order to enjoy that. You can actually get it in the EX and above model, which is almost their entry-level trim line. So again, it goes LX, EX, EXL, and then the Touring. And the heads-up display here, beyond the steering wheel, this little information button on the steering wheel, I can click this and display whatever I want to up on the dash. I can continue to hit this button and scroll to the right, or I can use the directional pad to scroll left or right and choose what I want to see up here. Of course, I can have my turn-by-turn navigation, my fuel efficiency. There is actually what's called a driver attention level system with the CR-V. In the first 20 minutes of driving it, it'll learn your throttle patterns and your hand positions. If those change after 20 minutes, it's an indication that you're getting tired, and it will throw an alert up on the dash. If you continue to get drowsy and continue to have these bad throttle habits and hand positions, it'll actually go down to 1 bar and vibrate the wheel. So again, this vehicle is always working for you to help you out while you're driving. And that's the ride along on the redesigned 2020 Honda CR-V Touring model. I hope you enjoyed the video and the new features. Please consider asking for me, Justin Thompson, when you come right here on Route 30 in Greensburg, or visit us online at smailhonda.com. Thanks so much for watching.